taking over for there. Oh, look at that, Bears on 4. This Firo guy, man, he's going to be fun to see progress here. Anyways, okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the patch once again. All right, we'll start from the beginning. We'll kind of restart this since we kind of had that break right there. All right, so welcome, guys, to the breakdown of patch 7.02 with BreakyCPK, of course. I'm looking forward to going over the new patch I hit literally last night, earlier this morning, and looking forward to going over it and really talking with, really having some discussion with my chat on the live stream here, but also just going over myself and kind of seeing my initial reactions. Now, to be clear, I did kind of glance through at least the first half of it late last night as soon as it came out, but then I thought to myself, you know what, I want to stop going over all of it. I want to make sure to get more of an immediate reaction caught on stream with doing a segment such as I'm doing here. So, again, even the bit that I did look over, though, it was a very quick skimming. It really made me realize that a lot of this patch is maybe going to be about talent tree changes, especially. But again, we'll kind of go over it and see what our reaction is with this patch. Now, obviously, as you see, we do have a match going on the screen as well, hopefully to add to some entertainment value, but also because it's a match I kind of want to watch that happens to be going on right now, and so I figured why not kind of, you know, killed two birds with one stone, as they say. Bears versus Liquid, a winner bracket finals matchup currently going on for the DAC European Championships. This is game number 1 of the best of 3, so keeping an eye on it, and we'll see how that continues to progress. Anyways, back to the patch notes here. All right, so first things first, they announced that the shrines are now vulnerable after a Tier 3 tower dies rather than a Tier 2 tower dying. So, or all Tier 2 towers dying, excuse me. So, this basically means you could be pushing into the base and just kill the Tier 3 tower. Again, I want to be clear on that. It's just the tower. It's not the racks that you need to destroy. So there's been people talking about, oh, well, what's the likelihood that you would actually be sieging the base before you get all Tier 2s destroyed anyways? Again, we're talking about just the tower. So getting the tower killed before you would eventually kill all the outer towers, it's definitely very likely. We see teams do that all the time, in fact. So I think this overall is a nerf to shrines, which from what I've been seeing with reaction from players and everything alike, I believe everyone's going to be pretty satisfied with. I mean, shrines do seem to be a little over the top maybe in a lot of ways. This is kind of a way to help deal with them a little bit sooner. You know, you start sieging the base, you get that Tier 3 tower destroyed. Say the other lanes aren't pushed in just yet, well, you can go right to the shrines, make those a priority, and get those taken out. I think that would be, as soon as you kill a Tier 3 tower, you want to take out those shrines before you take out the Tier 2 towers. I think it's very safe to say, as those shrines no doubt are arguably better map control, but of course in terms of the region and everything, very, very powerful things to take advantage of. So it's going to be fun to see how teams adjust to that change that took place there. Another kind of general change that took place, the Sentry Wards now come in a pack of 1 for 100 gold rather than just simply 2 for 200. Thinking about this especially, you know, I really am uncertain why it took so long for this to be implemented. It always felt kind of funky to me, especially as a support player myself, knowing that I had to buy 2 Sentry Wards at a time compared to just buying a 1 Observer Ward at a time. It just felt off, right? I mean, they're essentially kind of similar items. Why is one so different and so much more expensive, yet at the same time, the other one's only 65 gold for 1, where it's that 200 you have to buy for 2. You have to have 200 gold to at least get 1 Sentry Ward, which you happen to get 2 with. So in instances where I happen to know that an enemy placed a ward somewhere and I want to buy a Sentry real quick to counter it, well, you know, if I have 120 gold or whatever, I can't do that immediately. I have to go farm a couple of creeps up and then buy the 2, and then, you know, save on to the other one for another purpose, another kind of, or whatever it may be. And I'm not saying that you can never have enough Sentry Wards, because they're always going to be a good item, but it always just felt odd to me. Now, I do understand that this is a slight nerf to Invis Heroes, the idea that you can now invest just 100 gold to get a quick Sentry Ward to maybe counter in the beginning of the game. It's also going to be a nerf, especially to Invis Heroes, I think, because now supports, they only need that 100 gold to get that early lane Sentry Ward. So, yes, it's a nerf to Invis Heroes, but one, I don't know if many people are going to be complaining about that again. I mean, Invis Heroes are definitely annoying as hell to deal with in the first place. This just makes more sense. It just feels better. So, again, I'm glad to see that this change has happened. And as a support player, I appreciate it. So, the last thing, as far as general changes go, they added a Lycan to the Captain's mode. So, Lycan is now available as far as being picked up. And, you know, I would have to really look back at 7.0 to see exactly what the changes were to him. I do remember looking at him, I believe, and being impressed by the amount of buffs it seemed like he was getting. So I assume that's why they took him out of CM initially. With his skill set there, maybe the talent tree as well. They were concerned that that was going to be a little over the top. But he is now officially into Captain's mode. We'll see what kind of impact perhaps that has when it comes to people choosing him in the patch now. But some other general changes. This is more kind of a mix of items as well as some neutral creeps. The Satyr Trickster Purge Slow, the powerful creep that is. A lot of people are using that Helm of the Dominator to get this. Also Doom, you know, can pick it up, of course. They nerfed actually the Purge Slow quite a bit. In fact, from 180 yada yada to 50% at level 1 now, and scaling down by 10% from there. So, yeah, that's actually quite the nerf as far as the Satyr Trickster Purge Slow goes. And still a powerful creep to pick up, and it still provides that purge, of course. But when it comes to slowing people down effectively, not going to be as effective is the point. Helm of the Dominator, I don't think anyone's surprised by this. This is no doubt been the hot item here of patch 7.0. Getting some nerfs. I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to get nerfs. I don't think this is even enough, frankly. But Helm of the Dominator ult stats now from 6 to 4. So, you know, a slight nerf there when it comes to the usefulness of the item individually. As well as the creeps now give a constant 125 bounty gold. I believe that's more than you would have gotten before, if I'm not mistaken. I think it just scaled depending on what creep you had before, was just as if it was a neutral creep. So now the fact that, say, if you get the Satyr, you know, normally it wouldn't be nearly that much gold. It's now going to be 125 bounty. So it will mean people that have Helm of the Dominator, the enemies, when they happen to kill your neutral creep, a little bit more bounty gold for them. Again, I don't think this is like a, oh man, we're not going to see, oh man, they're nerfing Helm of the Dominator to the extreme, but it's a step in the right direction. I still think nerfs aren't going to be coming for Helm of the Dominator, I think it's safe to say, but this is definitely that step again in the right direction here. So that being changed. Shadow Walk damage from Silver Edge nerfed a little bit, whatever there. Tome of Knowledge. Additional XP used per tome, 100 to 135. Okay, so they made the Tome of Knowledge a little bit more powerful even, scaling a little bit better. Wanted to get people those extra levels for the talent trees earlier on in the game perhaps, so that's an interesting change to see there. Blade Mill damage return no longer spell life steals off of return damage. Oh my gosh. So, of course, there were a couple of cases here, most noticeably Queen of Pain, with that lifesteal talent, especially with an Octarine core built in. You get that Blade Mail, it's just insane how difficult it becomes to kill said hero. This is obviously a change kind of addressing that, and that makes sense to me for sure. It just felt funky, the idea that Blade Mail was causing lifesteal for said hero, whoever happened to have it, if they had a talent that allowed them to do so. And just maybe a little bit too extreme. So, not surprised to see that change. It's almost like a bug fix, I feel like, although, again, more of a balance change. But anyways, the point is it's changed, and that's good to see. Dragonlance Agility from 14 to 13, so very slight nerf there. But Dragonlance, a popular item amongst carries. In fact, we see one in this game here, of course, in the hands of Weaver. Let me make sure. Okay, there we go. Battle Fury Radius was slightly buffed. I know Battle Fury has not been the most popular item as of late. You know, there's been a couple of heroes that come to mind, such as Ember Spirit, who used to build that Battle Fury all the time, but that transitioned into now more of this magic build, the Veil of Discord, the Maelstrom. I think Maelstrom has kind of replaced Battle Fury in a lot of ways for most heroes, but this is an attempt to kind of bring back Battle Fury and be like, hey, it's actually still a pretty good item for your melee cores especially. Bloodthorn cooldown increased slightly, so whatever there. Solar Crest armor, slightly buffed. Good to see there. Sage Maim chance from 24 to 30%. So Sage not a popular item, but attempts at trying to maybe bring it on a little bit more, increasing the Maim chance. Sage and Yasa, the Maim chance increase as well. Heaven's Halberd. Heaven's Halberd getting quite a buff, actually. I've kind of felt like it's been an underrated item for the most part. Disarm is honestly a very strong mechanic, and I think it's underappreciated in the Dota 2 scene from what I've seen so far. The fact that this item is pretty much never picked up. Yeah, you got heroes like a Lone Druid, for example, that's become so popular on the competitive scene as of late. You disarm him for, I want to say it's 4 seconds if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check on that real quickly. 5 seconds. Wait. 3 seconds on melee targets, 5.5 seconds on range targets. So it's kind of in between there. Anyways, point is, especially if they're ranged, 5.5 seconds that they're going to be disarmed for. So heroes such as a sniper or the Lone Druid that are sitting in the background, you get the blink dagger with the Heaven's Halberd, or you just have a hero that has the ability to get in there in the background and pop the Heaven's Halberd. They're going to be unable to do much, if anything, for the next 5.5 seconds. That's quite the crowd control tool when it comes to taking somebody out of the game. So that on top of they buffed the cooldown even from 30 to 22 seconds. That's quite a significant change. 8 seconds taken off. And then even the maim chance increased from 24% to 35% as well. Now, I know this argument that it's kind of who do you get this? It's not like you're going to get this item on a support hero. It would feel pretty funky. So I guess that's probably the ultimate logic as maybe why we don't see the item that much. But as far as the use of it goes, it actually is a pretty powerful tool. And this is an attempt, again, to ideally make it a little more popular. So we'll see if it becomes an item that makes an appearance or not. Regen Rune now has the same damage dispel rules as Healing Salve. Okay, I didn't know that it didn't, so I assume that's just kind of a fix, if anything. Aegis Expiration Regen now has the same damage dispel rules as Healing Salve. So yeah, pretty much just all putting everything on the same page in terms of the regen of specific items. Observer War is now a Fog of War simulator, and I saw a video on this. It actually looks pretty cool. Obviously, we're in a game right now, so I can't really test it out, but that's actually a pretty cool change. And as a support player, it's who's still somewhat newer to the game, especially with the map change and everything. Even some advanced players are still learning a lot of these ward places and everything, and this is going to kind of help you understand that putting a ward in this spot will give you this vision as a result. So I like this is just a nice quality of life change here being done by the balance team at Valve. So I like seeing that. That's good to see. Towers no longer attack neutral team units. So pretty much any abusing that we were seeing with pulling the creep wave into a tower, letting the tower kill it or help you kill it, no longer going to be a thing. As well as the following abilities: Meat Hook, Telekinesis, and Toss. So all these abilities that would basically allow for pulls. I mean, we've even seen it in competitive matches where you'll pick up Punch and you go to the offlane area if you're on the Radiant side and you pull the creep wave into the neutral camp or vice versa, and it allows you to do a pull that the game really doesn't intend you to be able to do. So this is them addressing that basically. It's making a point that, yeah, you can't pick up these heroes for that purpose anymore. So in a sense, a nerf to heroes like even the support Tiny that we saw. That one game recently that was pretty interesting. We saw it because of that reason, it felt like. So no longer the ability to do that. Added more trees for TP cover around the Dire Towers. Okay, I guess felt like there wasn't enough there. Interesting. Swap the Dire secondary jungle ancients and medium camp spots. Huh. Interesting. So, wait, what exactly does that mean? I gotta check this out, actually. There's another action going on here, but... So that means, okay, yeah, the ancients are down here now. Interesting. Huh. That's a little curious. Alright. So I swapped that around. The Dire ward spot on the left of the ancients no longer gives vision over the rune area in front of Roshan. So just more quality of life changes here, really. Okay. Alright, well, so all that later stuff is kind of whatever, but... Alright, so going over some hero changes now. Here, let's start at the beginning. Start with the A's. Abaddon. You can still do it with Earth Spirit, apparently. You can still pull the camps. Well, I assume that if that's the case, that's probably going to be another change or another fix that comes in. Again, with those changes, there's no way they're just nerfing it for certain heroes. They wouldn't do that. So any hero that has the ability to to do that, I feel like is going to be changed eventually over time. So if there's a hero that can still take advantage of pulling a lane like that, then I find it hard to believe that they're just going to let that be with these changes. All right, so again, a lot of these feel like really not much input on as far as from myself. It's kind of just like, okay. So we'll kind of go through them. Obviously, I don't want to take too much time on all of them. Abaddon, level 10 talent from 15 to 20% XP gain. Okay, so he's getting a slight buff right there. I know he's not the most popular hero for many teams, but there are a couple of teams. You know, Team Freedom comes to mind. I know Complexity's actually been using him a little bit as well for the American scene at least. I don't know about other regions, but the chance to maybe make him a little bit more impactful throughout the game. Alchemist. So the level 15 changed from 15 move speed to 80 unstable concoction damage. Interesting. Level 25 talent from -4 acid spray to -5. All right, so they really buffed his potential throughout the game. I mean, the 15 move speed, I guess, could be nice, but again, without actually being able to see the talent tree in front of me, it's hard to gauge exactly how powerful that change is compared to what the other talent is. So this is where watching a game is a little unfortunate here in terms of trying to reference what this change is actually doing here. Yeah, that's Starman J. That's a whole another debate, right? So, Ancient Apparition, level 15 talent from 25 to 30 health regen. Okay. I believe I would usually get that too when I play AA, so nice buff there. 15 intelligence to -1 second ice vortex cooldown. Interesting. I guess I can see myself getting that now. Nice vortex, a strong ability for scouting and just teamfight presence in general. And then a slight respawn time upgrade as well, so at the level 20 talent. Anti-Mage, 6 strength to 150 health, so that's a buff, right? I believe as how much strength equals...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Isn't it 1 strength equals... Is it 10 life, or... I don't know how much each strength equals, to be honest, so... But I assume that this is a buff, though, to Anti-Mage. That you would get more health now as a result. Level 15 talent changed to a -1 second blink cooldown instead of health. Man, that makes his mobility that much stronger. 1 strength is 20 HP? Oh, okay. So if that's the case, then it's still a buff, because that would be 120, right? So yeah, so it's still a slight buff. So it goes from 120 life to 150 life. So -1 second blink cooldown. And the level 25 was changed from -2 second blink cooldown to 50 second mana void cooldown. Interesting. I think that's overall for sure a buff, because that allows you now to get your, although it's a second less, but still, the fact that you get it at level 15 now compared to just getting it when the game's already in a spot where it's going to be over soon, I think that makes it that much more powerful. And then it happens to be, it's like, oh, now you're level 25. We're going to make your ultimate that much more powerful here. So this is, so far, I feel like the most significant talent tree change, honestly. Anti-Mage here, I feel like overall is getting pretty buffed when it comes to this talent tree. Arc Warden, I really don't know anything about this hero, so I'm not going to try to analyze what's going on here. But it does seem like both of those are buffs here, I would guess. As you see, again, the strength being the same thing. It is a buff in terms of how much life you get now. Axe, 30 move speed to 35, so slight increase there. A couple more move speed, and always good for a hero like Axe to try to get in range for the Coaling Blade, of course, as well as the Berserker Skull. Bane, level 20 talent, 35 move speed to 75 enfeeble damage reduction. Wow. That seems like a lot. And then 120 enfeeble damage reduction level 25 to 75 move speed. Holy crap. So they basically swap these around, and again, I don't know. Is this a buff in the end? I don't know. This is hard to say. Honestly, the chance of getting a level 25 Bane in the first place, unless you're playing a core mid Bane, probably pretty unlikely, so it's one of those doesn't really matter kind of changes. But man, 75 move speed at that point of the game. That seems pretty damn strong. So, like to see a Bane zipping around the map with that plus 75 move speed talent. Bat Rider, level 15, 175 health to 200, so minor buff there. Beastmaster, wow, you got changes on everything. A slight XP gain increase, more on the, less on the respawn time now as well. More health, and then wild axe damage increased by a fair amount as well. So Beastmaster, they were just like, yep, we're going to buff you, and we're going to do it by tweaking the talent trees. This is also an example of why the talent trees are pretty useful when it comes to the balance team, where this is a interesting way to be able to buff and nerf heroes, right? You're not doing it directly necessarily, you're more so changing the options that people have in terms of how they want to build said hero within the game. So, but yeah, overall, definitely some good buffs for Beastmaster here. Bloodseeker, instead of armor, now just gets a raw 200 life. I like that, honestly. Level 10 especially, armor's not nearly as useful as just the straight-up stats is, in my opinion. So I think that's actually a pretty good buff. 250 health to 75 blood right damage. All right, so definitely a nice buff there, too. Respawn time to 14% rupture damage. Interesting. So they took away the respawn time at level 20, but they do increase the rupture damage. I mean, more kill potential. Seems like it's always going to be good. I mean, yes, not having a respawn time talent, one of the more stronger talents you can have, I think. Most heroes is unfortunate, I guess, but that rupture damage, though. More chance to actually kill the target that you're on and heal yourself up anyways. I think that's pretty powerful. Bounty Hunter. So I was hearing about this. So he got a Scepter change. All right, so Scepter now also increases Shuriken Toss mini stun duration from 0.1 to 0.75 seconds. Interesting. Okay. And yeah, the reaction I've been seeing from people is that this is a huge buff and potentially could make Axe actually a pretty viable option on the hero. So you get that track up and sure you can toss out and bounce into all the targets and you're kind of stunning everyone as a result. So we're a fair amount of time there. All right, that seems like a nice buff there. To level 10, XP increase, damage increase, level 20. They also made it so you can get 75 Shuriken Toss damage over 8% spell amp. So if you're getting an item like a Dagon or something like that, it's not going to be as powerful anymore. But Shuriken's really your main source of just raw skill damage, of course. So I think that makes more sense. And overall, much more damage than you'd be getting out of the spell amp for sure. So let's see what they're thinking with that. And then the level 25 just giving you even more evasion to survive later on in the game, which definitely makes sense. So good to see that there from Bounty Hunter. Brewmaster, Fire Spirit now has phasing movement. Okay, so Brewmaster actually receiving some buffs, and we see it in this game, in fact, for Team Liquid over here. Level 10 talent, increase the attack speed, move speed to Thunderclap damage. Okay. What did this Brewmaster go? He did go the Thunderclap damage. 75 Thunderclap damage. It was doing 300 before, so now it's 375? Or does this take into consideration the new damage? No, this doesn't, right? Because it does more than 100 damage at level 1, right? So, yeah, so it's... I guess it's not like the craziest amount of damage increase, but that over the 10% magic resistance, it's definitely going to be a game-by-game basis for sure. 20 talent, decrease the amount of time it takes to res now. 25 to 35 seconds. Wow, that's actually pretty significant there. And then 14 primal split unit armor to 20. So they gave you even more armor now on top of that with your level 25 talent. When and if you happen to get there. All right, Bristleback. Quill Spray max damage from 450 to 550. Vicious Nasal Goose Scepter range from 700 to 750.
I was meant to
Alright. So they're just buffing the hero in general, and then plus 4 max goose stacks. Oh, wow. Huh. Get even more minus armor up in the target, as well as more slow. Less respawn time. And then Level 25. Okay, that used it. Wow, they made the level 25 talent the level 15 talent now. That's insane. And then now instead also plus 20 quill stack damage at level 25. All right. Bristleback getting some love right here. Interesting. Wow, we're still in the B's. This is insane. Broodmother, level 10 talent, so increase the XP gain there. Agility to 60 spawn spiderling damage. So just overall more spell damage essentially coming out. Level 15 talent, 7 armor to 250 health. Again, similar concept I was talking about earlier. I just feel like the raw stats, the raw health, going to be overall more useful in really any game. Granted, unless you're going up against just some massive physical lineup, of course, but still. Just having the raw health is nice. And then level 20 challenge to 8 spiders attack damage. So that's that much more damage now coming out. And that's only level 20, actually. So that makes CG now much more powerful. And, you know, your team fight and whatnot, your ganking potential. Everything. Mother getting some love. Centaur, level 10 talent, a very slight increase. That's that. Let's give him a little more damage, they say. Chaos Knight, again, some minor increases there. Chen, 10 plus movement speed, all right. 15 talent, 20% spell amp to 10-second test of faith cooldown. Wow. All right, that's one of those. And I want to check up on here. Where would Chen be? That's not Chen. There we go. Test of faith. It's right now 24 seconds, so it makes it a 14-second cooldown there for Chen. Interesting.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Level 15 talent from 200 health to 250 health. I mean, making Test of Faith a 14-second cooldown. That seems pretty strong, actually. Over Spell Amp, which, yeah, you're not even necessarily... Spell Amp on Chen feels kind of weird in the first place. That's not why you pick up Chen, right? You don't pick up Chen to deal magic damage. You pick up Chen to control the jungle, to bring a very strong push presence in team fight. Great ultimate. All those ROs as a result, so yeah, this is a huge buff, I feel like. Level 15, 200 to 250 health, so even some minor stat increase there. More survivability. Clinks, 12 to 15 strength for his level 15 talent, so speaking of survivability, more there. Clockwork gets a little bit more damage. Move speed to 75 rocket flare damage. All right, that's a level 15 talent, so basically you decide whether you want just auto attack damage or 75 rocket flare damage. For farming especially, the rocket flare damage really strong. But dealing 50 damage per auto attack, catching people in your cogs, that seems pretty powerful in itself. So that's kind of I feel like that's like a bit of a toss-up there. See what you'd decide to get. Oh yeah, no, I know Test of Faith is also the damage. I understand that completely, but again, you don't pick up Chen to deal magic damage. That's not why you're not thinking about your draft and be like, you know what, we need more magic damage. Let's pick up Chen to take care of that. So Spell Amp on Chen, again, it just feels kind of odd as far as the idea goes. I think that's my opinion, at least. Crystal Maiden, really, they buffed the damage even more. This is a hero I personally play pretty often, so kind of excited to see. They gave her more damage now, 50 to 60. Makes her, you know, her own jungling as well as her presence in fights a little bit more powerful. Because I believe the other talent is plus 60 gold per minute, which really is not much. So definitely would rather have the plus damage over the 60 gold per minute. Level 15, 200 to 250 health, more survivability. And then level 25 talent, more Crystal Nova damage even. From 200 to 250. All right. I like seeing that. Darkseer. So this is one of the first pretty decent nerfs that we're seeing on the patch here on a hero. Movement speed reduced by 5. Ion Shell mana cost increased at the early levels from 70 to 100. Holy crap. Yeah, that really is a hit to Darkseer here in the laning phase early on. I know he's a fairly popular hero, especially in like Southeast Asia, I believe. Even in the Chinese Dota 2 scene, if I'm not mistaken. So not as popular in Europe and North America, but worthy of nerfs, at least according to the balance team here. And Other than that, we also got the level 15 talent. He gets increased on damage, though, from 90 to 120. All right, so that's quite the amount of damage there. Level 20 talent, 75 vacuum AoE instead of intelligence, and then strength to cooldown reduction. So they give you the cooldown reduction now at level 20. 75 vacuum AoE is pretty strong, but honestly, the level 4 vacuum, it feels like it's actually pretty big in itself already. And the likelihood of catching everyone in it or all the targets you want in it is pretty high already, so probably would rather still just get the cooldown reduction at level 20. And then level 25 talent instead changed to 25 strength, as well as the iron shell damage slightly increased. But man, 25 strength, that makes you really bulky there. That's kind of a mix of nerfs and buffs, actually. He got nerfed himself. The iron shell nerf, that definitely hurts him, because that hurts his early game presence quite a bit, which I feel like it's one of the main reasons you pick up the hero, right, in that laning phase. And that presence he has. So, decent nerf there. Dazzle, level 15 talent from 40 damage to 60 damage. Alright, so more right click for Dazzle here. Nothing wrong with that. Carry Dazzle, man, I swear, that's a thing. Carry Dazzle's potential. Death Prophet. Changes here to help him survive. Giving him the magic resist early on instead. Minus 1 second Crypt Storm code on level 15. More spam ability there, more farming potential. If that was a level 10 talent, that'd be really strong, but level 15, it's going to do a point. It's like, it's still going to be useful, but it's kind of starting to, I guess at that point you would be pushing into the base and stuff. So it's actually still pretty useful for sure. Disruptor, 200 health to 3-second kinetic field cooldown to minus 3 seconds. Level 20 talent, 50% cooldown reduction to 400 life health. Huh. So they took away his cooldown reduction, which I know whenever I play Disruptor, I believe I would usually get. Instead of just giving him a straight up life. This fight going on right here. I want to check out Disruptor, what his other talent is at that level 20. 400 life, it doesn't even seem like that's worth it then at level 20. The other one might be better off. Let's see, Disruptor here. Where is Disruptor? There he is. So level 20. Spell Amp is the other talent. Okay. Yeah, I guess 400 life at that point, especially as a support, is overall going to be better, but... Huh. I feel like that's actually a nerf, though, to the hero for sure. Doom, a level 10 talent from intelligence to plus 80 Devourer bonus gold. Okay. So more farm for him. 150 life to 250 life instead of that if you want to go that route. Probably would go the Devourer gold, though, honestly. Level 15 talent, armor to 15 scorched earth damage / heal. 15 move speed to 20, so choosing between that. Again, another case of maybe this new talent here. Level 20, 65 damage to 35 Doom DPS. Interesting.
I'll take that.
So instead of getting more just right click yourself, it now basically makes your ultimate that much stronger as far as the damage goes. But again, Doom DPS increase, is that why you're picking up Doom? I feel like the silence is what really makes that effect powerful. The fact that, giving it more damage in general it's not going to be a bad thing, though. But I guess I'm just trying to figure out if I would actually rather have the 65 damage instead of the 35 Doom DPS. But we will see. Dragon Knight, 6-7 strength, 25 to 35 XP gain, 50 to 60 move speed. So just again, across the board, Dragon Knight getting some buffs there. Drow, level 25 talent from 350 gust distance / knockback to 400. Okay. So a slight increase there. That seems pretty little, to be honest, but for a level 25 talent especially. But guess they figured you needed just a little bit more at the end there. No problem, just call me Matt. Not a big deal, man. Appreciate it, though. Earth Spirit, minus 35 to minus 45 second respawn time at level 25 if you happen to get there. Earth Shaker, base HP regen increased, interesting. Level 25, level 20 talent, Spell Amp to echo damage instead. Alright. Level 25 talent to 500 health to 600 health. Is this actually better or worse? Huh. I kind of wonder if this is better or worse. Because I don't, obviously I can't do the math in front of me. I believe they would try to make it a buff though, so I'm going to say it's better, but 10% spell amp seems pretty strong too, especially, you know, you get a big Echo Slam off. Elder Titan, talk about a hero that just died, man. We do not see Elder Titan at all anymore. Natural Order, slightly buffed there. Level 15 talent. I was actually just talking about this yesterday, how we never see this hero. XP gained to 30 Echo Stomp damage. Okay. Level 25 talent, 80 Astral Spirit hero attack to 100. Alright, so I don't know if these are all of a sudden we're going to start seeing Elder Titan again buffs, but it's buffs at least. Ember Spear, root now disable, activate Fire Remnant. Oh. So, wow, that's actually quite the hit to Ember Spirit right there. So, yeah, basically makes the root ability now actually powerful against him. They had that buff to root, obviously, in patch 7.0 that made it pretty significant as far as being able to get out of it, as this game's going to come to a finish, it looks like. But interesting. So now they're making it so now it disables the Fire Remnant. So now Ember Spirit's going to have a more difficult time in terms of escaping. Again, this has been one of the biggest heroes, no doubt, at 7.0, and he's been big for a while. This is them finally kind of addressing that and trying to nerf the hero slightly, and definitely a good job at that. The spell amp even decreased from 15 to 12%. Yeah, 15, even 12% at level 10. I mean, that just seems absurd. Like, you compare that to a lot, like there's all these other heroes that are getting 8% spell amp at level 15 or 10% at level 20, but for some reason Ember Spirit gets it at level 10, and it was 15%. They finally now nerfed it to 12%, but so, I mean, again, it's at least nerfs, but I still think the hero may need a little more toning down on top of that as well. So, yeah, it looks like Bears, by the way, defeating Liquid right there. So, while we're waiting for that to get back into a new game, we'll keep focused on the patch notes here. Enchantress, a lot of talent changes. Clearly felt like they didn't do them correctly initially. Pretty much every level, both of the talents being changed or buffed here. Okay, kind of glancing through it, nothing really that standoutish. I guess the level 20 talent, they took away the respawn time, but plus 60 untouchable slow. Alright. And then more Nature Attendance Wisps at level 25. Well, they give you the minus 50 respawn timer now, though, at level 25 instead. Interesting. Okay. Enigma, talent from 30-second respawn time to 40-second. Level 20 there. Come up quicker. Faceless Void, 5 to 7 strength. Minor buff there. Gyrocopter getting buffed at all of these levels. 10, 15, and 20. More life going to be nice. And more movement speed at level 20. Pretty nice as well. What does he currently have? It's either that or the 20% cooldown reduction. Ooh, 20% cooldown reduction. Pretty strong, though. So, even though it's 35 move speed now, I don't know if... Although move speed and mobility is nice for a Gyrocopter. So, yeah, I'd be curious, actually, what people decide to get there. At the level 20 talent now. Huskar. Level 10 talents being buffed. / changed, even. Instead of move speed now, plus 5 Burning Spear DPS. And then that or just straight up health. A little bit more even. Want more greedy or want more survivability? I think more greedy may be the way to go now, honestly. Plus 5 Burning Spear DPS. See people doing that. Invoker, level 15 talent, changed from 25 to 30. Yeah, we would never see anyone get this because instead they would always get the plus 1 Forged Spirit talent. But this is an attempt to be like, you know what? Maybe you want the XP, so... Who knows? Maybe, I mean, 30% now, it's... I mean, 25 was already pretty strong, so now they're increasing it to 30%. If people weren't getting it at 25, though, I don't know if people... They still value that second Force Spirit when it comes to farming, when it comes to pushing, yada yada, so... He dunks better than Axe, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really care about move speed, that's being told in chat there. So yeah, we got Invoker... Also level 25, interesting. So minus 15 to now minus 18 second cooldown. We've only had that one game where we actually saw. Actually, no, I've seen a couple of games, I believe, where we've seen an Invoker get the minus tornado cooldown. It's pretty ridiculous seeing those tornadoes constantly coming out. As far as counter push goes, as far as being in the team fights, AoE Deafening Blast is, of course, a very valuable tool. But I do feel like if your team happens to be behind, you could argue that the tornado cooldown is going to be a better use. So now it's even that much less of a cooldown at level 25. So one of the more significant level 25 talent changes for sure. Invoker most certainly going to be getting there over others. Wisp. Speaking of not really significant level 25, I mean, okay, that's a nice buff, but good luck getting level 25 on a Wisp in a significant game. Jakiro, level 10 challenge change, slight XP increase, as well as, what was he? So it's either that or Spell Lamp. Ooh, I don't know. I think the Spell Lamp's still pretty good on a hero like Jakiro. Or a level 15 talent, 250 health to 25 dual breath burn damage. Okay, so increasing that damage potential there over survivability instead. But still, though, even cast range though on a Jakiro sounds arguably more powerful in itself. So I guess it depends if you want to farm or not. Juggernaut Healing Ward now has a 25 gold bounty. So killing that Healing Ward gets you a little bit of bounty here. Obviously, you want to take it out ASAP anyways, but now you get some nice benefit there. And give me a second, guys. I got a phone call. All right, sorry about that, guys. Had a phone call. I'm actually going to need to go AFK in about 15 minutes here. It turns out I had an appointment set up for tomorrow morning with some people to come look at something at our house, and it turns out that they're going to be coming now in about 15 minutes. So I'll have to do that here, so I might have a little bit of a break in between. Anyways, the Invoker changes still feel super weak. Yeah, I don't know if that's the case. I mean, Invoker's a pretty strong hero in general, and I mean, 30% XP gain. Like, that's ridiculous, especially level 15. Pretty damn strong. So anyways, I think it's actually pretty good. But looking back at here, so we're at Juggernaut here. So you get the bounty now, level 10 talent from 150 to 175 health, so a little more life, and then level 15 talent from 6 to 7 armor. So actually, Juggernaut getting a little bit of buffs outside of the Healing Ward bounty, but even that, it's not like a huge deal necessarily. It's not like giving up a Healing Ward, giving 25 gold up is going to make or break the game. So a little surprised to see a hero like Juggernaut just getting straight up buffs here, honestly, considering how popular and frankly how powerful he is. But he is getting them nonetheless, albeit nothing too drastic compared to what we've seen. Coddle, Keeper of the Light, getting some buffs, a strength gain, as well as a level 25 talent from 300 to 400 cast range. Again, level 25 Coddle. Good luck with that. But if you happen to get there, that much more cast range. Now, what's Coddle's other level 25? 200 Illuminate damage heal. Okay, yeah. You can see either or. Kunkka, Tidebringer cleave distance increased? No, decreased actually. Well, decreased at the earlier levels, but increased at the later levels. Okay. So only decreased at the first level, but the later levels increased. Cleave radius also increased at each level by 50. So makes that Tidebringer that much more stronger. Let me take a look at Kunkka here real quickly. There he is. Alright, so yeah, the Tidebringer here, making it that much more powerful as far as the potential of it, in the later levels at least. Level 10 talent to 40 torrent damage. I like that. That over mana. I mean, 150 mana was nice on the hero for sure. That in itself, you look at Torrent, though, it only maxes out 120 mana cost, so X marks spot only 50. I guess he's not using an insane amount of mana necessarily. But yeah, some better potential for getting kills assisted with that Torrent at least. You got the 20 damage to 25 now as well as an option. So, depends. If you're playing a support Kunkka, I think you definitely get the Torrent damage, of course. If you're playing more of a core Kunkka, then that plus 25 damage is good. 25 talent from 25% magic resist to 35% magic resist. So, that much more magic. Or you get the plus 200 Torrent AoE, that massive AoE stun at level 25. So, but trying to make that magic resist that much more powerful. That on top of the ghost ship going through, it could be pretty difficult to kill the Kunkka. Legion Commander, level 10 talent from 15 to 20% XP gain, slight there. Leshrac, 15 talent, magic resist very slightly increased, and then strength increased as well at level 20. So really making him that much more tankier. Again, for a supportive style hero that's kind of in the front lines a lot. I like seeing this. I actually play a little bit of Leshrac myself too, and I know there's teams that are picking him up a little bit here and there on the competitive scene, and definitely are going to like such changes here. Lich getting some buffs. It looks like cast range slightly increased to level 15. 5 stats to now minus 3-second Frost Blast cooldown. Interesting. Where's Lich? It's right here. So Frost Blast right now is 8 seconds, so it makes it a 5-second cooldown. And that's a level 15 talent. It's either that or the cast range. I mean, cast range is really strong. But man, when it comes to farming, getting that and then the 120 gold per minute at level 20, you'd probably want the 150 damage, though. That's right. It's level 20 talent. Still, the point is, makes a farm, but also some nice team fight damage as well. So, sure, the cast range is not going to be as long, but I can see it doing that. Plus 25 frost armor structure to 35 armor now. So, if you happen to get level 25, now it'll be 35 armor on the structure rather than what it was 25 before. So good luck sieging against a freaking level 25 Lich if he manages to get there. Damn, that is strong. Lifestealer, 15 talent, slightly increased on the health. Okay, so I'm noticing a theme kind of looking through all these changes so far. We're probably just over halfway here. There's all buffs, man. There are very, very, very few nerfs that are in this patch. These are pretty much all just straight up buffs here. That's kind of crazy to see. Now it's just kind of buffing everything. Let's just power up everything. Anyways, Lena, 20 damage to minus 25 second. Wow, that's level 10 talent. Does any other hero have that short at level 10? 25-second respawn time, or the 60 light strike array damage, which is nice, but you're not really getting LSA for the damage. I mean, you got the combo with the Laguna Blade. You're going to be killing a lot of heroes anyways with that combo. Do you really need 60 more damage on top of that? So, minus 25-second respawn time. Holy crap. Again, especially being at level 10. That's what makes it so insane. Before she had minus 30 seconds at level 15, but this is stronger for sure. Getting it at level 10, especially if you play more of a support Lena, very powerful there. And then instead now she gets plus 40 damage for her level 15. Either that or the cast range. Yeah, there obviously has been a couple of nerfs in here, but honestly very few. Ember Spirit is kind of the only one that actually just got straight up nerfed. Other than that, every hero has had maybe a little bit of nerfs, but mainly buffs. Lion, level 10 talent from health to minus 25 respawn. Again, so Lion actually getting it too. Okay, so Lion and Lena both now having the minus 25 respawn. Interesting. And then they made the level 15 now Earth Spike damage over the respawn time now. So level 15 is either that or 90 gold per minute. 80 more Earth Spike damage does seem pretty strong though. I said 340 right there. Again, you're more so using that for the stun, though. Although the damage to farm creeps is actually a pretty nice aspect of that. But instead, you just get 90 gold per minute. Probably be satisfied. Lone Druid, okay. What do we got here? His attack range was slightly nerfed. Good. Damage was slightly nerfed. Good. 20 talent, 7 Spirit Bear armor to 12 armor. And then they nerfed the level 20 talent as well from 50 to 40 seconds. Okay, so Lone Druid is another, along with Ember Spirit, that looks like did get some much needed nerfs here in this patch. Now, with that said, this is still strong. I don't think this is enough. I think you probably needed to tone it down even more than this. Probably even go down to something like 40 damage talent instead of 55. Even you just made it 10 damage less. Is that really going to be like, oh man, now we can't pick up Lone Druid because he does 10 damage less per auto attack? I know it adds up, but it's just on paper that sounds so weak in terms of the amount of nerf there. Even the attack range, minus 25 attack. Okay, his attack range is absurd already. You're basically just making it a little less absurd now. And then the minus 40 seconds respawn time. I mean, again, that's a nice direction. That's a good nerf. 40 seconds, though, for a core hero that's going to get to level 20 pretty soon compared to other heroes still seems pretty damn powerful. That's one where I would say probably just worth changing rather than keeping it the way it is. Don't even give him a respawn time duration decrease there. So, anyways, at least he's being nerfed, and I think many people will be happy with that. Luna, base attack damage reduced by 6. Night vision bonus was decreased as well. Interesting. So it goes back to 1,000 at level 4, but up until that point, it's not nearly as impactful. Level 10 talent from 4 armor to 15 movement speed. Huh. That's kind of a nerf / buff. I mean, the minus 4 armor, more survivability. Although, what would you usually get as Luna? Let's see, where is she? So that or the 15 damage. You probably get the damage right anyways, so I don't know if that's really going to be a significant change in itself. I mean, 15 move speed, definitely potential for, running around and escaping even, but just that 15 damage, though, that seems pretty strong at level 10 right there, so. Lycan, added to CM as we mentioned. Agility gain from 1.5 to 1. Howl mana cost has actually increased. And the level 15 talent, minus 20 second respawn time to 25 seconds, so kind of that mix of nerf and buff once again. Yeah, Lycan, he's going to be introduced now into CM, so going to be fun to see if he makes an appearance in CM here. Magnus, level 15 talent tree, changed it to strength rather than 50 damage. That's definitely a nerf, I feel like. I mean, obviously a little bit more survivability, but this is what helps make him kind of a right-click presence. Level 20 talent from strength to 50% empower damage / cleave. That's a nice, actually, little buff, though, at the same time. It's kind of a give and take, and then 20 to 40 movement speed. We definitely get this, though, for sure. I mean, that's kind of one of the big reasons why you pick up the hero, so. Like that option. Medusa, level 10 talent. Got an increase there. Level 15 evasion to 10 to 15%. Level 20 agility to 1 split shot target, and then 20 to 500 to 600 mana. So a choice between that survivability or more damage. Overall buffs on Medusa. Meepo, what happened to Meepo? Base armor was reduced, and level 15 talent from 20 move speed to 25. So he's a little squishier now, but overall, it's still pretty similar to what he was before, and not getting maybe necessary nerfs. But again, with everything being buffed, I guess that's a way to look at maybe certain heroes getting nerfed even more, like a Lone Druid, is that everything else is getting buffed. So it's a mix of that nerf happening / everyone else getting buffed that ideally closes that gap that much more, I guess, is the logic when it comes to the balance here. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of getting a little bit distracted here. I'm waiting for that either a phone call or my doorbell to ring. Because, like I said, I'm expecting somebody here very shortly to be coming. In fact, I'm going to do this just so I can hear the doorbell ring if it does. Monkey King. Oh, no, Marana. Marana, level 20 talent, 8 earner to minus 4 seconds sacred arrow damage. Cooldown, that is. Where's Marana? 17 seconds, so that makes it a 13-second cooldown. And then especially with the level 25 talent where it makes it a split, I wonder if that's, I mean, that's overall, pretty significant buff, actually. And the level 20 talent from 40 to 50 damage, so yeah, I guess you have to choose between that. Not much more damage now as well, but Less of a cooldown on the arrow, more farming, more potential for lockdown, of course. Pretty strong. Yeah, no, the Magnus is definitely a scaling buff for sure. Yeah, like I said, in the earlier game, it makes him a little bit more weaker, but that Empower buff option right there, that's pretty strong. So, but yeah, Mirana, interesting changes there. Definitely overall a buff, I would say. Monkey King, all right, another fun one. Base armor reduced by 3. Jingu Master bonus damage was slightly decreased. Pretty decently decreased, actually. The later levels, 200 to 150. Jingu Mastery lifesteal decrease. I don't know why they just don't freaking remove this. Although it actually... Okay, so it's actually increased at the later levels. Wow. So they decreased the initial level. So actually, this is really just a buff here for Monkey King. Fuck that. Wukong's command no longer continues while reincarnating. Don't even know what that means. Level 15 talent from 20 move speed to 75 Jingu Mastery damage. Really? So that Jingu Mastery can be that much more powerful now. I haven't played Monkey King myself, but just reading this is kind of depressing. So here's the Jingu Mastery. So now you can get that level 15 talent. It's either that or the 275 life. Man, if I was a Monkey King, then I would definitely go for the damage, right? Like, that much more damage from Jingu Mastery. Level 20 talent for 15 strength, 20% magic resist. Okay. I think that's actually a overall, fairly bit of a nerf because, sure, against magic damage it's going to be decent, but against a lot of the physical presence, and that's the game is going on level 20. I think you would have rather have had the strength for sure, so I actually like that. Although, let's be honest, probably get the 40 damage anyways. And then level 25, 25% magic resist, which you had before, to 25 strength. Okay, so now he just gets the strength anyways at level 25. It's either that or the 100% boundless strike crit, so... At that point, maybe you would rather just get the balance strike anyways. I don't even know. I haven't really played the hero, so... Seems like overall buffs, though, which I'm a little surprised to see. I know the hero is not... There was the overreaction when he first came out, and I don't think he's necessarily OP compared to maybe some other heroes, but... I mean, he did get some nerfs, so I don't know. Maybe this overall makes sense here, but it's kind of hard to absorb. Morphling, 30% replicate damage to 50% replicate damage now. Wow. So that level 25 challenge really increasing quite a bit, actually. Making those replicates that much stronger here. Naga Siren. In fact, hold on a second. That Morphling. Replicate, it deals 80%. So it already made it deal more than the hero, and now on top of that, it's dealing even much more. That's actually damn strong. So it's making it 130% damage done by the replicate. And again, Morphling's obviously a hero that can get level 25 at a pretty decent timing, actually. So, all right. Naga Siren, level 15 talent, 15 evasion to 3-second ensnare cooldown. All right, just more about offensive use, perhaps more support potential rather than just simply a core there. Nature's Prophet, 20 damage to 30, 175 to 25. Well, really just all out buffs here as far as survivability and some damage output goes. Necro, okay, agility gain slightly decreased, movement speed slightly decreased, and level 15 talent slightly increased the move speed though. So I guess this kind of makes up for a lack in the move speed, although I feel like you'd get the other level 15. I don't know what it is the top of my head, but yeah, 6 stall stats. Yeah, I at least usually would get the 6 stall stats. I know move speed's actually decent, but I find myself getting a blink dagger anyways to kind of close the gap. So I don't know if that's really that significant of a change in the end. So overall, definitely some nerfs to Necro. I think understandable to see there. Oh, I just realized, guys, I took off the screen, actually, as far as the game screen. Oh, well, I guess I'm going over it, so it doesn't matter. Night Stalker, level 25 talent from 6-second to 8-second cooldown, to minus 8-second cooldown, that is, so a buff there. Minor one, level 25, but still. Nyx, 10 strength instead of 50 impel damage. Okay, I like that. 25 agility to 12% magic resist, so wow. So yeah, they basically took away just these raw stats and made it a little more unique even. I would probably get the impale damage for sure. Again, a mix of farm and get that Ags inevitably. You can replicate SD illusions, so you can create a Morphling replicate that hits harder than yourself as a hero. Jesus. That does seem strong. Morphling the new combo with Luna, yeah. Screw Shadowed even. Just get Morphling to go with Luna now. Yeah, that seems powerful, man. I mean, again, that's level 25 talent, so you can't overreact to those necessarily, but still. And the level 20 talent, wow. Yeah, they made that now the 40 agility even. So, Jesus, 40 agility? The fuck? That seems like a lot, man. Holy crap. Ogre Magi, intelligence growth decreased. And then level 15 talent, a slight damage increase, though, if you want to choose that. His level 15 talent was... What was it? There's other level 15 talent as 8% magic resist, so... yeah. I can see actually getting the damage for sure. Omni Knight, level 10 talent, slightly XP gain increase. Nice there. Oracle, same thing. OD, slight health increase. Phantom Assassin, slight move speed. So these are very slight changes here. Phantom Lancer, level 10, 150 life to 75 Spirit Lance damage. Wow, I actually play a bit of Phantom Lancer myself. That sounds strong. The other level 10 is 20 attack speed, so it's whether or not you want to have that scaling into the late game with the 20 attack speed, or... Hell, I think no matter what, especially with the Axe change as well, 75 Spirit Lance damage seems freaking strong, actually. So I kind of want to... This is one of the more exciting ones for me that I want to try out to get that talent and see how powerful it truly is. But that makes it go from... the damage itself is... what is the damage? It's 250 at level 4. You're making it do 75, so making it 325 when it happens to be level 4. That's a Q on a 7-second cooldown. Costs 140 mana, but 325 damage every 7 seconds on an agility carry hero. That sounds strong, man. Phoenix, level 15 talent, strength changed to fire, spirit, DPS. All right, a little more aggressiveness. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like Phoenix is kind of one of those supports that you want to ideally build as more survivability, of course. I guess the other talent is 90 gold per minute, which you'd probably get anyways. But it opens up the option for being a little bit more of a core, perhaps, and dealing a little more damage in fights. Puck, level 10 talent. Health, we got level 15 move speed to magic resist. Magic resist to minus 3 second waning rift cooldown. And 8% spell into 10%. Okay. So they give you the magic resist to level 15 now, and they make this now the waning rift cooldown. Minus 3 seconds. What is it normally like? Has to be not that long. It is 13 seconds. So this makes it a 10-second cooldown instead. Okay. Can see myself getting that for sure at level 20. Over the spell amp. Having silence 3 seconds sooner over 7% spell amp though. I mean, that is good on a puck, so I don't know. Maybe you still would get the spell amp. Puck overall getting some buffs though. Pudge, move speed reduced. Fix the meat hook, sometimes landing behind the target. And the level 20 talent increased or decreased the respawn time from 35 to 40 seconds. So again, a mix of a buff nerf, but really nothing too massive there. Pugna. Ten total strength. 10 all stats to have minus 15 or minus 5 nether ward damage per mana. Wait, plus 0.5. What am I saying? Plus 0.5 nether ward damage per mana. Huh, interesting. 100 cast range to 150. So this is level 20 talents. And level 25, Nether Blast to 125 instead of 100. This sounds interesting. The 0.5 plus Nether Ward damage per mana, that could be interesting in the matchup especially. Getting level 20, but getting that over the attack range, or the cast range even. But the lifesteal, I feel like the cast range is pretty important. So maybe not, but again, probably depending on the matchup, how much like big mana abilities are being used. Queen of Pain, level 10 talent. Slight buff there, and then level 25. Takes away the 35 intelligence. Now, of course, obviously level 25 Queen of Pain, we are looking at the 70% lifesteal, which did not get nerfed. However, they did nerf the Blade Mill, as we mentioned earlier. So, in a sense, it kind of did. Minus 3 second Shadow Strike cooldown. Would that makes it a 1 second cooldown? Jesus. So instead of toning down the spell lifesteal, they're basically like, we're going to give you another really stupid OP option. I mean, 1 second Shadow Strike. Basically, you can literally use Shadow. It's 125 initial damage. Now, obviously, the likelihood you're putting it on the same target over and over again, I guess you could just argue that it's a 125 damage nuke every second. Granted, that means you're not auto-attacking in the meantime, so, and at that point of the game, your auto-attacks probably are hitting harder anyways. Huh. But for, like, spreading the Shadow Strike around, I guess that's potentially could be good. I don't know. That just seems kind of silly, though. That just seems like a silly... I really wish they would have rather just decreased the spell lifesteal, if anything, made it like 50% instead, and kept the 35 intelligence. Like, I feel like that would have made it a little more reasonable. But yeah, making Shadow Strike a 1 second cooldown, then you have an Octarine Core on top of that. You're looking at less than a second cooldown. I mean, but again, would you ever realistically use that? Like, if it made Scream of Pain, if it was a minus second Scream of Pain, then that would make it a 4 second cooldown on Scream of Pain. Like, that I would see actually making a little bit more sense, because that's the AoE presence, that's 300 damage every 4 seconds, that's pretty damn good. This just feels like no one's going to do that. The 70% lifesteal is still vastly superior, unless I'm completely missing something here. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that change there. That just seems that seems like one of the first just absolutely silly changes that they made. Anyways, Razor, 15 talent, 5 armor to 130 unstable current damage. Really? Huh. So they made more damage output. And then plus 250 health. What does that mean, though? Plus 130 unstable current damage. Is that his passive? Am I missing the point of that? So that's the unstable current. Oh, okay. It is. It is the passive there, yeah. So plus 130 unstable current damage. Wow. So it doubles the damage at level 4, essentially. Huh. That's interesting. It's level 15 talent. The other one is 150 cast range, which actually is really good for the static link. So I still don't know if you get that over the static link, but constantly dealing more return damage when people cast abilities around you seems pretty strong, potentially. But I think probably the cast range overall better. And the slight life increase. Ricky, XP gain at level 15 from 20 to 30%, so making him a little bit more useful as far as scaling throughout the game. Rubik, his level 10 talent from 50 to 60 damage, alright. Sand King, level 10 talent, 200 mana to 10% magic resist, 12% magic resist to 50 sandstorm DPS. And 15 movement speed to minus 30 second respawn time. Okay, I kind of like these changes, because level 10 talent, Sand King right now, what would he have? It's 5 armor or 10% magic resist. Okay. So it's either magic or physical game, and then now you got the level 15 talent, plus 50 sandstorm DPS seems silly. You'd always get the minus 30 second respawn time for sure. Like, you would never do the sandstorm DPS, I would think. Now, whether you're playing core or 4 roll or 3 roll, like, you're going to get that respawn time, right? So yeah, probably get that. Shadow Demon, Disruption Illusion damage taken from 200 to 300%. Holy crap. That is a pretty significant nerf, actually. So finally, well, not finally, but they're continuing to try to really nerf the Shadow Demon Luna combination and Shadow Demon in general with that disruption. 25 talents, 6 second Soul Catcher cooldown. Oh, that's nice, but again, good luck getting a level 25. What does that make the Soul Catcher cooldown, actually? It makes it a 4 second cooldown. That's damn powerful. But yeah, again, it's level 25, so can't overreact to that on the support hero. Shadow Fiend, 20 talent, 15% evasion to 50% lifesteal. Okay. Huh. I want to say that's overall a buff, but at the same time, I mean, evasion, of course, is going to granted be pretty decent. However, okay, yeah, the other talent's plus 2 damage per soul. So again, a case, I would think you would always get that +2 damage per soul. That just seems really strong and too powerful to pass up kind of deal. So I don't know if it 50% lifesteal though. I mean, that's not bad, especially if you want to start help you scale into the later game. Just getting that 50% lifesteal through a level 20 talent. Sure, you're dealing a little bit less damage, but ideally, you know, your item build, you're going to have your butterfly, your MKB, even if the game calls for it, things like that. Your chrysalis into your data list. So is that much less damage on souls going to be really that significant? Oh no, actually I could see the 50% lifesteal. I kind of like this change where the 50% evasion was like, it's a nice defensive mechanism, but it doesn't seem as strong as a 50% lifesteal is providing. So Shadow Shaman XP gain increase level 15. It's there. Silencer slow increased by 5% at level 25 though. So Skywrath Mage, level 15 talent's getting changed, plus more 75 damage at 50, and then 60 to 90 GPM. Okay. Overall good. Sawdar, Slithering Crush, Stun Duration. Got nerfed at all levels. His health slightly increased at level 15 talent, but they decreased his Crush Stun Duration very slightly, though. This makes a lot more sense. 1.5, 1. Why was it 1.6, 1.9, 2. These are just such odd numbers. I know it's overall a nerf, but this actually just makes more sense. So, anyways, he's a very popular hero, though. So, yeah, not surprised to see him getting toned down a little bit. Slark move speed slightly reduced from 305 to 300. Strength +5 at level 15, and then the cooldown reduction at level 20 instead of health. That's not bad to see on a hero like Slark, who's definitely spamming those abilities quite a bit, so figure that's actually pretty strong. Sniper, 4 to 5 mana regen, pretty minor there. Spectre, strength increase. Spirit Breaker, move speed increase. Storm Spirit, health and armor increase, so getting some nice buffs to these talents here, a little bit more survivability. Sven, -5 seconds Storm Hammer, cooldown is 6 seconds. -6 seconds. Wow, what the hell does that make it? It's 13 seconds, so that makes it go from an 8-second to a 7-second now. Or you get the +65 straight up damage. I would think the 65 straight up damage makes more sense. Because if you get level 25, you're going to be dealing. You're the big damage dealer for your team, anyways, most likely. Let's just get more damage on top of that. You're not looking to constantly stun people in these fights, so not really a huge change. Techies, proximity mines, bounty increased 30 to 50. XP gain increased. Level 25 talent, 25% cooldown reduction to 20%. Oh, they nerfed his talent too, so Techies getting a couple of nerfs right here other than the slight XP gain increase. Hey, anything that nerfs Techies, I'm fine with. TA, move speed 15 to 20, health, slight increase. Terrorblade, same kind of deal. Light buffs there. Tidehunter, 30 to 35%. God, a lot of these XP increases, man, they really want to excel this game because you got this as well as the Tomb of Knowledges that are getting slightly buffed as well in the patch. They're really trying to amp up the leveling in these games to get those talent trees that much more effectively and earlier in the game and more use out of them. So interesting to see that. Timbersaw, speaking of that, 10 to 20% at level 10? Really? 20% at level 10? For a Timbersaw especially? Jesus. Where's Timbersaw? It's out of that 150 health, but man, I would definitely get the XP gain. 20% experience gain at level 10. That seems really powerful. Intelligence by +5, and then cast range +25. Right there as well. Interesting. Yeah, that level 10, though, that's a standout one there for sure. Tinker, armor and health, the tiny, intelligence, move speed. Tree and Protector. Leech Seed slow, slightly decreased at the earlier levels. Also got the bash duration decreased. Move speed was also increased. So overall, pretty decent nerfs here. Then level 20 talent, +65 to +90 damage. Alright, so helps him out a little bit there. Troll Warlord. Strength, and then health. Again, I'm picking it up, guys. I'm expecting somebody here soon, so we're wrapping up, though. Tusk. Wow. 20 to 35% XP gain. Holy shit. That's got to be the biggest one yet. That's level 10. That's insane. 35%. I want to play Tusk. 15 talent, 15 strength, 150 snowball damage. Nice. Considering, again, more in the role that he plays with like that 4 role. I feel like this is definitely a buff. Level 20 talent. A little bit extra magic resist. And level 25, more tankier on top of that. So, damn, Tusk getting some buffs. I got to play him. Underlord. Move speed reduced slightly. Actually pretty significant. That's minus 15 move speed. Okay, wow, that actually hurts him quite a bit. Attribute R damage reduction decreased by a lot at the earlier levels. 4, 16, 28, and 40. Goes from 10 to 4, 20 to 16, 30 to 20, and then 40 at level 4. But, Jesus. That means you want to level that up perhaps sooner now. Level 15 talent, health to move speed instead, to kind of make up for this here. Which I could see getting. What's the other Underlord? It is Spell Lamp. Spell Lamp pretty good with a Firestorm, but I could definitely see myself getting the plus 35 move speed. And then attack speed at level 20, as well as a cast range. Okay, Undying, another XP increase, but this is level 50. See, that's kind of funny. Tusk you get at level 10. Undying you get at level 15. I mean, still good, but Jesus. Level 20... Move speed, tunnel stats to 50 tombstone zombie damage now, level 20, okay. And that's even more than it was at level 25, but they changed that to a minus 2-second decay cooldown, which, if I'm not mistaken, with an Ags, does an Ags reduce the cooldown or no? It just increases the amount, right? So, what is the cooldown on decay? It's a 4-second cooldown, so that makes it a 2-second cooldown on decay, and especially if you have an Axe on top of that, level 25 Undying, holy crap, that's scary. But again, level 25 Undying, let's be honest. Ursa, Magic Resist, Vengeful Spirit, Move Speed, you got the damage buff as well, Venomancer, Viper, Visage, XP gain 25% at level 10, again pretty strong in there. GPM also increased at level 10, so that's a choice to make. Do you want the experience or the gold? Man, 25%, that's strong. I would probably take the experience for sure. Level 20 talent, minus more seconds there, and that Warlock, again, more XP increase. We're seeing a lot of that. Shadow Word cooldown, level 15. Warlock, all right, now it's 16 seconds, so that makes it a 12-second cooldown. Or plus 20 move speed. Either were decent. Cast range increase. Weaver, base damage reduced. Swarm damage reduced. So overall, decent nerfs there. Wind Ranger, power shot damage was increased actually. Cooldown slightly increased at the earlier levels though. So you went on mana cost decreased. So overall, definitely buffs here initially. And then plus 25% wind run slow. Wow. That seems strong at level 10. 15, you got the intelligence, you have the plus 40 move speed as well now. Overall, definitely some decent buffs for Wind Ranger, actually. Not a popular hero at all, but this kind of makes me want to try her, too. Winter Wyvern, strength increase. Witch Doctor, 25% XP gain now. Same thing here. Plus 90 damage now, nice. Wraith King, plus 50 Wraith Fire Blast DPS, alright, with the 200 health. And then Zeus, Scepter Strike intervals. Happens more often now. Scepter cooldowns. So overall, big buffs here with the Scepter. And then some health change at level 10. Alright, guys. So, there we go. That pretty much wraps it up for patch 7.02. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Again, wasn't really going over analysis necessarily of all the changes there. I was doing the limited knowledge that I have and kind of just personal reactions and maybe some of the heroes that I personally play and whatnot. Got the reactions on, but overall going over the whole patch right there. Hopefully not too long it lasted, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it at the very least. So I want to thank you guys for checking out this patch breakdown here of patch 7.02, going over it in full. And again, hopefully you enjoyed it, and be sure to check me out on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BreakyCPK, as well as my YouTube and all my social media platforms. Until next time, guys, see you then. All right, so there we go. That's the patch breakdown.